Hello and welcome to Afternoon Tea with Karen and Karen's Library. Greens show support for Hezbollah, just in case it disappears, because often things I put in my playlist that other people have done poof, disappear. And I would really be sad if this one went away.
The United States is still apparently our indispensable, absolute number one ally slash master.
Let's talk quickly a little bit about what Pine Gap is, but also what it is in this moment of rotting American empire, acting out violent death rows across the globe, and I guess the ramifications for what that means for Australia and our sovereignty.
Donald Trump has just come out and basically indicated that he's not particularly keen on democracy in the United States. Seems to be kind of maybe making an indication that that whole midterm election thing may not be something he respects. From what I can tell, he's engaged in an ongoing vicious, reckless war of choice against Iran, is arming and supporting the violence of the Israeli state against people in Gaza and in Lebanon, continue to invite us to be part of all of those wars. That's the context we're in at the moment. And there, the United States is still apparently our indispensable, absolute number one ally slash master. And so when we're here talking about Pine Gap and the role that it has, notionally as a joint Australian-US facility, it's in that context, right? And it's in a far rawer context, a more real context than I think Australians have seen for decades and decades and decades. Probably the last time I think we had a kind of national focus on the dangers and the violence of the US military deployment was in the Vietnam War. But I feel like this is kind of that moment, only with vastly more structural decline at the center of it in the United States and a vastly more dangerous, you could call it death throes, you could call it, angry pushback against their loss of relative relevance. Like it's a much more dangerous moment for the world, I think.
Authorised by Jay McCall, Australian Greens, Canberra.
Well, David sounded a little bit Muslim Brotherhood there. Anyway, when I was a child, Palestinians were in Lebanon. Now they're calling themselves Hezbollah. So, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go into this. Got the idea. In regards to what David's talking about, this is from that channel I like last month. So, and it's dubbed. So, listen to this.
The officer responsible for implementing this American agreement has arrived at the U.S. Embassy in Lebanon. Military units belonging to the U.S. Army have arrived intensively at the embassy. Beyond the embassy, there are other centers in Lebanon that have the U.S. military. It was also agreed that there would be French, Italian, and American forces on the ground to assist the Lebanese army in its implementation. And there is, if you will, a commitment from the United States of America and CENTCOM, the Central Command in Qatar, that assisting the Lebanese army logistically, militarily, and even providing air cover if needed. I challenge Hezbollah to carry out any military action against the Lebanese state. It would be its end and not a good end. We will see how the Lebanese army will take it over, how we'll implement it. Because, lest you forget, even the United Nations in Lebanon was complicit. There were officers who were on Hezbollah's payroll getting paid. Tunnels were being dug under United Nations centers.
And that's all I wanted to do. So, that'll do. And see you later. Bye.